And one. What up, guys? Hey, how are ya?
Hey, how are
Okay,
ya?
so Chrissy, we're new here. Before we introduce you, we gotta get throwing from you. It's a thing that me and Nico do. Learned it from the OG. That when anyone says "Hey, how are ya," you gotta respond right back with a "Hey, how are ya." So can we get a "Hey, how are ya" from
Hey,
Chrissy?
how are ya?
Hey,
Let's
that's pretty
go.
good. All right, let's go. All right, guys. So welcome back to another episode. Of course, you know me and Nico already, but
Yeah,
this person definitely does need an introduction. We have Chrissy here, and we're so excited, first of all, to have you. We've been talking about this for a while.
I know. I'm happy that you guys, I'm the chosen one. I mean,
Oh, yes.
you were supposed to do this. I got sick, and then the second time I hurt my back. So, third time's a charm. And
Third time is the charm.
I'm happy that you guys considered me for this and
Oh,
just
100%.
feel like I'm
Of course.
just talking with my boys.
Yeah, of
It's
course. And let's go through a quick brief resume. We got studio owner, Lululemon ambassador, brand new.
yeah.
Big Hall of Fame moment. So congrats. She's actually on a big billboard at our store. Um, so it's truly amazing what you do, and from the very short connection we've had, just watching you kind of do your thing and the way you go about it is truly amazing. So there was no ands, ifs, or buts of you not being on this podcast.
Thank you.
So
Sweet.
anyways, give us a quick breakdown other than the little spiel I gave you. Tell the viewers a little bit about you. What do you do? Who
Okay.
you are? And then we'll get deep dived into it.
Okay. Well, I'm Chrissy. People call me Chrissy, but my full name is Christina. I'm 28, turning 29 this year, which is kind of intense. I think I'm gonna have like a real ass life, but that's cool. And it's actually my champagne birthday this year, so
Hey, there we go.
I'm gonna do something for it. I want to kind of almost make like how people do like a big blowout for like their 30th.
Oh, sure.
I want to make
Yeah,
like
yeah.
20, like what it's supposed to be like for my 30th, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Um,
Amazing.
Okay.
so that'll be good. But yeah, a little bit about me. I own the Bike and Barre Studio with my mom. I feel like a lot of people don't really know that. But she is the co-founder. She is the bike to my bar, and we started the studio 5 years ago, which was in January, and then cut a few months later in 2020. Obviously, the pandemic hit, so we were faced with all that, and had to persevere and find ways to kind of keep the business going. And it definitely wasn't easy, but I think that's what um has really set us apart, is just continuing to do what we love and finding ways to keep putting ourselves out there. So that was difficult, but like hindsight, we're actually very grateful for the time, because it allowed us to iron out all the stuff, that because I'm working with my mom, so that can always be difficult.
Amazing.
Not I'm not perfect. I was how old was I back then? I don't even know. I was just younger back then, and so you know
Sure.
we had
And
to
it's
use those 2 years to really establish, okay, family life over here and over here. So let's not kind of fuse the two, and we really don't. So I'm proud of us. But beyond that, I guess earlier, my mom actually started the studio, and it was called Spin Sisters, and it was in our basement of our home, and she did that for 3 years prior.
amazing.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so she just offered spin classes. I got involved about a year and a half in, and that's when bar classes were really popular. And we did it out of her home in the basement. And when we started to outgrow that, I should have probably started with that. But yeah, we started with that, and kind of outgrew the space. And I kind of said to her, like, I think there's demand for this. I think that this could really be something had we really sat down and discussed it. And she was a stay-at-home mom my whole life, so this was just something for fun for her. Like, we always joke, like, if we could do it for free we would. But my dad's
Yeah.
like, our financial kind of, he's in charge of finances. So he's like, okay, like we're not just going to do this for you guys do it for free. Like, but
Yeah.
love that energy. So that kind of, shines light on our passion for fitness and what we do. But yeah, it just kind of started realistically with my mom. And then I guess for like me personally, I know this is like a very long introduction.
No, this is great.
Oh,
This is
let it
actually
fly, let
so
it fly.
good. This is amazing. This is
But,
exactly what we were hoping for, honestly. So,
and then I guess for me, I've always been passionate about just fitness, my well-being, um, all of it. I grew up a competitive dancer, so that was just like super instilled in me at a very young age. I started when I was 3 years old. I started competitively when I was 6 to 7. Um, and then I went on to do it professionally.
oh
Um,
wow, I didn't know that. See, that's another. I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
wicked. Hell yeah.
I got a championship ring and everything.
Yeah, she got the
Oh,
ring.
oh man.
I should
All
be
right, I'm gonna get mine real quick.
I,
Let me.
I should be wearing that like all day, every day. But yeah, I did that for 2 years, danced for the Toronto Argonauts from 2016 to 2018. And then threw in my pom poms and then traded them for ballet shoes, bar shoes, grip socks, and, you know, spin, all
Amazing.
the things. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. There's so much I've learned to like not only about you, but like I guess just like realizations for me of where we can, branch it off. You
Cool.
know, I think one thing that was really great that I think I just really noticed out of that is timing, right? And the power of timing. For me, it's on Instagram now, so I guess this is the first episode we can actually air it. I will be going to spring training in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
for baseball this year. And it's so funny. Timing is just so this powerful thing that you look at it and you're like, like I want this now. Like, I want this to happen now. And then the whole universe just has its own time, its own plan, its own, little pathway for you to take and like, hey, now's your time. Now this is what you're gonna be doing. This is what you're gonna be doing for your life. And this is your path for it. So like that's something I really learned about you. Like is like this all started here, went here, my timing's here, and now this is what it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't correct me if I'm wrong, and Nico, you too. Like, I don't think for even for me with baseball, it's like I don't always thought I was gonna be currently where I'm gonna be. You know what I mean? Right? Like I never thought like for you, Chrissy, like you never thought you were gonna own, a studio of your own. Like I never thought I'd be in this position that I am. And Nico, you as well. Like you and your music and putting out music, creating albums, performing in front of people, right? Like, would
Yeah.
you agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, growing up, I wanted to be a football player. Like, I mean, shit, Loki, I still do, but like, who doesn't want it, you know? I'm like, uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how kind of things worked out, and like, because I found my like second love, I guess, or true potentially, not, but not even potentially true, because the way making music makes me feel, at least, like I just genuinely am happy. Like I don't, as much as I would love to, tour the world and do all that stuff. I'm also happy, like just making and creating things by myself with my friends, whatever it is. That's the shit that makes me happy. And like the timing of how it all came together, for me at least, like it worked beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. Yeah, no, I think again, timing is just like this thing, and funny enough, like we always say, baseball is all about timing. You got to time your swing, time everything up, and it's so funny how all of that just kind of plays into day to day life. There's a point in time where I didn't think baseball was gonna be my thing. I didn't think I was gonna, and going into my fitness realm, what people kind of see on Instagram, I didn't think I was gonna actually be a personal trainer or be into the fitness realm the way I am right now. There's this point in time I was creeping up to 200 pounds at 5'7". Never thought that, yeah, never thought that I would be a personal trainer. Never, never, never. Until one day I was just sick of it and I realized that there's a point where my talent, my pure talent for baseball was not going to take me to where I wanted to go. And it was a point where I was just at a low in my life, that I walked into a gym that we as a team were training at. Met my mentor, he's currently my mentor now. I started off cleaning the gym, like just cleaning, mopping the floors,
Yeah.
putting weights away, all of that. Like like I was a janitor. Then he started integrating me. He's like, bro, I see you working over 6, 8 weeks. Started showing me like spotting techniques and strength training techniques. Why we're doing this and make me understand it. And then I was like, dude, like you gotta help people do this. Like this is what I want to do.
Right.
And
Mm.
you know, about 40 pounds later, and a lot of experience later as well. Like here we are. Like I personal train. It's fun. It's something I enjoy to do. And outside of baseball, that's exactly what I see myself doing.
Yeah.
And Christy, I mean, you've kind of seen it all too. Like in terms of being someone who instructs, being a leader, to many others right now. Like, did you ever see yourself being that way, or was it just kind of the timing of and all of that as well, or?
Well, I think like between like the three of us, like the similarity is one, the passion, and two, like the grit and the hard work. Like I think the three of us and like just between all of our stories, which are so different, like truly,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all so different. And like from point A to point B is like looks so completely different. And it's literally like this. But I think that like, no, I didn't see myself doing this. I actually thought I would be like an actress. Like I wanted to like act and I thought I could do that. And even though I
See,
never
I
like
I
an
could
act,
see that. I could see that happening. I
You
could
never
definitely.
know.
You never know, but like I could definitely see that happening. Like I could definitely see you like acting because you have the energy for it. Like you have
Yeah.
very very good energy.
I
So like, and a lot of actors and like people I know that do act like have very similar energy. So that's funny you said that actually.
I love that. Honestly, I really appreciate that. I ended up going to for high school. I went to Unionville High School, so it's an art school. And I got in for dance, so I did 4 years of dance. But they also had the drama program, so I really wanted to just say fuck dance and I can just go do drama because I was still doing it competitively after school. Can I swear on this? I'm sorry.
Oh, go nuts!
Uh,
It's a free running
go,
podcast.
Okay.
go
There's no
Braves.
script for a reason.
Okay.
You're off the cuff. Like it's all you. It's all
Okay.
you, homegirl.
But yeah, I definitely thought that even if I didn't do it, like if it didn't get me anywhere, I've like always just thought that that would be my like I could do it and I would make it, and if I really put the hours and time in, like I could do that. But obviously, like I didn't, and like where I am now led me to what I'm doing, and I think I've always been a leader. I think I've always been very like I'm definitely not a follower. I'll start by saying that. Like I don't really follow a trend. Like I like doing my own thing. And like if you don't align with that, that's cool because it's something that works for me. And I don't know. I just think there's so much like to be said about uniqueness and something different and even just like not like we'll get into this I'm sure later, but like not looking like everyone else. And like I swear everyone is like morphed into like looking, talking, being the exact same. And it's like so like I don't know. I think it worked for like a second and then people got tired of it and are tired of it. And like,
It's exhausting.
work.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It
Yeah.
is. It is. And I think why even like me and Nico are just close like this is I think it's because like we brought ourselves like our natural selves. Like, like
Mhm.
Nico. He's like, I make music, I like football, I like baseball, and you know, I personal train. Like and we just kind of and I think that's why we all get along so well, coming from again, very different backgrounds.
Mm.
Right? Like very different.
Yeah.
But even to that, like you're 100% right. There's no uniqueness in the world because and everybody's following that same thing.
Hmm.
And it's so funny you say that because like I don't think it's per se everyone following the same things. It's
Hmm.
because I don't think anyone's done the work that the three of us did already to
Hmm.
find our true selves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think people see, like, for instance, Pilates is really hot right now.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere you look, it's reformer at home, reformer flows, mat this, all.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think you can never have enough. Like, and that's
Doesn't
like,
hurt the business either, right, Chrissy? Like
yeah, yeah, no, like anything, right? Like, I think that every industry is oversaturated. So how are you going to stand out and how are you going to be different? And I feel like like not even off the record, just like being super candid, I just feel like I'm happy I got in the game when I did. I really had to work at, like, you have to understand, during COVID, as hard as it was, like, I remember having like one client a day, two clients a day. I actually ran through, because I have like track of like all of my like my schedules from like literally day one to like now. And I actually took some of my instructors through that. And just to whatever, we were like celebrating our 5 years last month. And I was just like, do you want to see something insane? And I like backed it to like 2021, 2022, even like a bit of 2023. Classes, guys, I like, they were dead, dead. And like, I feel like that is what really shaped me into like, no, keep working for it. That's one person in the door. Perfect. Be happy with that. Be
Mm.
grateful. So now when with all these classes, and I'm like still so grateful for having anyone that walks in the door, because it just feels so rewarding to have someone that believes in my brand, believes in what I'm doing. They're showing up for them, but really I'm like, oh, but you're showing up for me too, like that.
Yeah.
It's such a nice exchange. And I
Yeah.
feel like, back to like my point, I feel like people see that, they see Pilates is hot, Pilates is this, whatever, or spin, or whatever it is, anything in the industry. And I feel like it's nice to obviously admire others, but like, for those that have been in the game, we had to fucking work. Like,
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
because it says Pilates on it.
Yeah.
It- like creating a name for yourself in this industry wasn't just handed to me or any
Hmm.
of my friends or my instructors or like people down like at different studio
Mm.
owners, right? Like, you had to work for that, because at the end of the day, people don't owe you their money.
No, no, no.
People
Yeah.
don't owe you their
You're
time.
right.
And how are you going to make it worth their while? You have to build relationships. You have to, like, be a good person. I think like that's the biggest part for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Genuinely, yeah.
be educated, like have the
Know
space.
what you're talking about. Know what your clients want. You know.
Yeah, and you have to be that people person in any industry, right? Like
Mhm.
yes, anyone can go buy the book off something and be like, "Hey, this is the right way," and it's gonna work for time being. But
Mhm.
unless you're good with people, like I think the three of us really are. I think all three of us are such strong like people persons,
People.
people,
People.
right?
Yeah.
People.
People.
I can't say persons. It's but people like it makes everything just so much better and everything just kind of works together like like now like even when we look at it I have to wait list to get in your class like I have to book well in
Yeah.
advance right
Yeah.
like and it's like it's insane to watch like such a growth of that nature right like
Mhm.
for example Nico like at one point no one's listening to your music and now you have Spotify listeners that you don't know
Mhm.
Yeah.
right you don't know like people know who Wavy is and it's like
Period.
I'll still always remember the first time. I think it was like the second or the third single I ever put out. I was just over the moon of it, of how it turned out. Dropped it, and then what I do when I drop shit, like I drop it, I make all the promo for it, whatever, post it, and then I just put my phone. Like I just don't look. And I remember the next day, like the next morning, I opened my phone and I got a message from like someone, some random person. Um, we ended up talking for a bit. He messaged me because the song that I dropped, I guess he just said he was having a terrible day,
Mhm.
and he listened to my song and it made his day, and he had a great day, and he just wanted to thank me for it.
I
And
love that.
that
That's
was
so,
like
like, in itself, like,
right. And on top of that, like he lived in Ukraine. Like I don't have anyone there. I have no connections there whatsoever. And what's so cool too is I still have a relationship with him. Like we talk every now and then. Like we follow each other on Instagram. Have him on Snapchat too. Like every now and then sometimes we played Fortnite together. Like it's so cool. Like we just you just it's how something like so small and like something that I made
yeah,
like could go anywhere and have an effect on anybody.
yeah.
It's just it's really cool.
So
I don't know how else to say it.
I think everyone holds so much power, and like, you can really make, I don't know, positive changes. And like
Mm,
something as simple as that, like what you just did right there. Like you released a song that you worked super hard on, I'm sure,
mm.
like you do.
Okay. Yeah.
And out of all these people that are listening from the area here and there, you got Buddy in Ukraine who's saying, I love this. Thank you. You made my day. I needed to hear that. That really helped me. And you
Yeah.
don't know what it was, but hearing those words is so, like I was saying, rewarding. Like, and that's where I'm saying we just hold everyone holds so much impact in what we do, in your craft, in and even in day-to-day life. Like you're walking down the street, look people in the eyes, give them a smile, hold the door open for people. Like little
I
gestures.
love that because we're about to get into that. I love that because we're about to get into that because I think again like it's so much and this is like kind of like the gist and this is kind of like why I brought everyone on all three of us here because like I know for all of us it took our
Oh
own work and our own
shit.
adversities to get us where you're good, you're alive.
Can you did I lose
Yeah,
what? I'm sorry. Wait,
you're
did
No,
you
you're
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 there.
good.
Don't worry. You're good.
You're good. We've had worse. As you'll see in an episode, we've
Yeah.
had a lot
With
worse
this,
happen.
the last.
started my truck, which it went
So
on my
as
truck. Okay.
now that you guys have seen this episode by now, the last episode you realize that my phone overheated
Yeah.
and Nico actually had to close off the video by himself while awkwardly waiting for me.
Like
No.
So
he
first
was
of all,
mid talk.
shout out to Nico. Shout out to Nico for holding it
IT
down.
guy.
This is why he's my partner in this. This is why he's here.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Nico, I don't know if you want to tell your rendition of it real
I'll
quick
just
before I get into like the deeper talk, but like
yeah. I'll just like quickly like we were mid conversation. He was like he was mid like
I was saying some deep
sentence. He was
like
saying some shit and like I was just I was leaning back. I was like listening and then just black screen. And I was like and there was a quick second where I was like
No.
oh oh yeah and then I'm like well he's disconnected but
he'll be back.
he'll be right back. I'm sure he'll be back. Like,
No. No.
and and I couldn't agree
Come on.
more with whatever he was saying. Blah blah blah. And like, and
Okay.
then I was like, okay, like maybe I'll just check. Maybe he texted me. He's no answer yet. I guess no. And then I just started rambling, and I'm like, oh, for
What
5 minutes,
TV
I'm like,
shows?
oh, what shows am I watching? Like I'm watching this. I'm watching this. Oh, you gotta watch this. Blah blah blah. And then. It was funny. I couldn't I laughed. And then after, last thing, and then after I tried calling him and texting him, no answer. I FaceTimed him,
This guy's phone blew up. Literally,
bro.
it's done.
I FaceTimed him, and some random lady picked up, and I was like,
What?
"Hello," and she's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Is this Azar's phone?" And she's like, "No," and it's like some like light skinned like black woman in a restaurant like kitchen and I'm like so this isn't Azar's phone and she's like nah and I'm like okay I don't know how I got the wrong number I guess
What? I've never had
yeah
So
like this.
so I had a number like way back when I first met Nico, like 3 years ago I think now.
Oh my
yeah
And it was when I was like in college back and forth from the US.
god.
I
Okay.
hadn't changed my number yet.
Yeah.
I changed my number about a year or so ago. Like so he had both numbers I
I
guess and
just
it
had
just
both I
dialed the
guess
main number.
I'm dead.
He
That
never deleted the whole number. But anyways, that didn't happen for
good.
Chrissy. Chrissy's
Good.
more than
Good.
fine.
Good. Good.
you're here
She's
yeah
more
Is
than okay
is
right now.
a
Like
keep on.
when I say worse has happened, worse has happened. Like
Okay.
but yeah,
ballerina recovery
Yeah.
yeah, for real, right? But yeah, like back to gosh, that really threw that really threw a curveball in my
I'm sorry.
ideal
What
mental
we were
plan, but that's
last
okay.
talking about was just those gestures, right? Of just
Yeah,
being
the gestures. Yes, the gestures. And you know what? Like, I think this is why. Yes, now I know where I am.
okay.
But this is why again that like the three of us are here because we put a lot of internal work to get like that. I'm sure we all were always built, formed, like that in the sense, right? Like for me, it was a lot of self work. Like I had to learn actually how to be alone. Like and really put the work within myself, like mentally, physically, spiritually, understanding like my intuition, my
Mm-hmm.
gut. Like I had to really understand and pick up on cues that were happening around me that were different from the ones I originally put in my head. And when I put all that together and realized that like this world will thank you back for
Yeah.
everything that you put back out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
it's not this like, hey, like why doesn't anything good happen to me? No, it will. Like I promise you it will, but like you just have to get that paid back to you. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just it's just like taking something. You can't take and
Not
without
give.
like having to give something, you know what I mean? And I think that took a lot of work for me, like realize and I always say like this was my biggest, I think, life accomplishment actually. Still
Mm-hmm.
to this day, beyond the baseball, beyond the training, beyond the podcasts, beyond the reels, everything. I
Mm-hmm.
think once I learned this was 2020 to 2022. It was a 2 year like hiatus of
Right.
like really finding and understanding who I was at that point in time. I realized how much I actually didn't like the city. We've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I realized how much more quiet and subdued that I needed to be within
Yeah.
myself and understanding what I like, what I don't like, and keeping those things like out there. What, and then going back to what you said, what aligns with my vision? And a lot of things open up. You continue to learn and grow every day now that you're a little less hard headed and, not about your own way or the highway. And it's so crazy that like now that I'm at this point in life, everything that aligns with my vision and my path have all aligned with what I need right now. It's not forced. You know what I mean? I don't have to, force a relationship with Nico. I don't have to force anything with, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
everything just flows naturally. I'm at a point where I'm just like very peaceful. And even if I'm having a bad moment, I know that, I know where I got to be and what the things I got to do within myself to get back into that.
Well.
And
Yep.
just building a stronger intuition through it all too, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have a feeling, right? You know kind of what to expect in certain situations now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rather than, you're younger, you haven't done it yet, and you just kind of start, you know, word vomiting everything and start like going off on someone here and going off on someone here, or even just going off at yourself. But now you have intuition. You're like, yeah, now I know this is happening because
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Working
yeah,
with
like,
other like people, right? Like a few years ago, my mom and I would just say yes to everything. Yes,
hmm
Hmm.
because
yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, we want to get our name out there. We want to build relationships. Yes, yes, yes. We'll do it for free. We'll do it for like, there were a lot like, and I'm grateful for obviously the build up, the process. But you iron out those like, is this the saying? You iron out the kinks. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
iron out the
Yep.
kinks. Yeah, yeah.
That's what we did in those 2 years when I kind of mentioned for, during COVID, like her and I, our relationship, our personal mother daughter relationship. We've always had a great relationship, but now we're bringing a business in together. What's that
hmm
like? We've never done this before. Before it was just kind of like, obviously in the basement, it wasn't a established business. It was like a word of mouth, $5 a class, like pop in here and there in the neighborhood.
So
Now,
sorry, go
sorry,
on, go on.
no, no, no. Now it's like, how are we gonna like do this and not
Mm.
let external things and factors and the noise and drama between her and I didn't whatever get my dishes from the dishwasher or whatever, like stupid shit, like
Yeah.
how are we gonna make sure that that doesn't affect in studio like sessions, classes? The minute we walk in that door, and we this is what we said to each other, the minute we walk in that door,
Mm.
Yeah,
we
we're
leave
best
it.
friends. Like, like walk in, we're best friends again. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I actually did have a question for you, Chrissy, but because you mentioned how your mom started spin in her basement,
Hmm.
were you into spin before, like, or was it like when did your mom just get you into it, type type shit?
So yeah, like I mean, I was not, no. I was like, nope, spinning's not me. It's not my thing. It's my mom's thing. It's your bike. I'm bar. So even when we were in the house, the spin sisters, the studio,
Mhm.
we'll call it the house. She would do spin, and then I just did bar, anything on the mat, like little boot
Okay.
classes, hit classes, bar, and that was kind of like my thing. And then when we opened up Bike and Barre, and this is really good, just again, I think common sense, but common sense sometimes isn't that common.
It's not common. No, you're right.
So her and I had said, well, we need to be cross trained in everything. So if you're unable to teach, I need to be able to step in. You have to understand too, this was 5 years ago. For a
Mm-hmm.
good 3 years, it was only my mom and I, and maybe two other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was not like we had, obviously now we have 13 girls
And
instructors that teach for us. But like deep down roots, we needed to be cross trained in everything because we relied on ourselves, right? Like we had to be the ones showing up, putting out, and then not putting out, like putting on the class, and then like working the whole thing, like running the whole studio.
yeah,
Uh, we're all the hats, and
yeah.
so I guess when Bike and Bar started, it was like probably a good few months in. And Maria, one of my like best friends, and we grew up together dancing. And then she actually now works at the studio. It's just a really nice little story there. But
A little full
she
circle moment.
she was teaching spin, and like she and my mom, of course, kind of inspired me. I'm like, oh, like she makes it look like she's younger. Obviously, she's my age. And my mom's older. And she would teach spin, and it was just so like the music that she'd throw on, it'd be a hip hop spin. It was just like I think that's where I was like, oh shit, like we could
Can
be,
I intervene actually really quick about that?
yeah.
So my first ever Pilates class, guys, this was very recently. There is only one person I will actually go to for a reformer, and that is Chrissy. I just want to be clear.
Thank you.
Um, so my first, this very recently, what, a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a couple months ago.
yeah.
Yo, I did not think Pilates was. I didn't know what to expect. I'm walking in blind. Like I
Yeah.
just know I'm like okay, like at least I know someone there, and
Yeah.
better enough, she's the one instructing it.
Yeah.
And like low key, nervous,
Mhm.
nervous,
Couldn't tell.
and Chrissy puts on ASAP Rocky for the first playlist, and I'm like, this is the opposite of what I'm thinking. Like I thought it was gonna be calm, it was gonna be
No.
chill, and then like, oh my god, like I think we're listening to like fucking Problems by ASAP
Yeah.
Rocky and Drake, and I'm like, this is not what I expected at all. Like
The
I
explicit version too. Like we're all adults. We can handle it.
yeah no yeah
Yeah.
and honestly, I think the more comforting part is like I saw half of the people in the class at the store already. Like
Yeah.
that's the craziest part. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Like I know half of you. I don't know your name, but I know half of you.
You've seen
But yeah,
the
that threw me for the biggest curveball, and I know that had to be said.
yeah.
Because you were just talking about music and hip hop, and I was like, yeah, this is not what I expected at all.
Hilarious.
Um, Love it though. I love Reformer. I try my best to get out there every Friday
Yeah.
when the time and everything kind of permits. Like sometimes I get caught up doing my own work, my own editing, and then I'm like, oh wait, oops,
It's
Yeah.
okay.
sorry,
Life happens.
happens.
I
We're all
still need to try
You
a
haven't?
reformer class. I haven't tried
Wait,
reformer, but I've done. I think I did like one or two spin classes.
yep.
Um,
Yep.
that was, and I think
You did the
I
fusion.
did a bar class as well. I
Yep.
think.
We did a Bike and Bar. This was like early days before I was even ambassador. We just did the split. This is when Jacqueline was on for
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
coordinator, or I think that was her role.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's the best.
Community, I think. Yeah. But yeah, no, I remember that. And I remember like I had done I think one spin class before that class with you.
Yep.
And I was like I kind of I knew like what the gist of like I guess spin was.
Yeah.
Um and I guess I'll be honest, it wasn't like the first time that I did it, not with you. It wasn't like it was hard, but it wasn't what like it wasn't like a crazy challenge. But then when we did it with you, I remember I was sweating buckets,
Yep.
like dying. And then like we had like a 5 minute rest, and then we went straight to bar.
Yep.
And
Oh,
some of the things like I was like I'm a pretty flexible guy,
mhm.
but like some of the things that some of the like moves that we were doing, I was having a lot of trouble with, and I was like genuinely like, whoa, like this is not what I thought it was gonna
that
be. Like holy
sounds
shit,
like me
like
at that
I
sounds like
love
me at
this.
Reformer. Like
I love
seriously, It sounds like near reformer. No, like it's amazing. I think it's one. I always like said I wanted to do it because I saw a lot of athletes doing it.
Yeah.
And funny enough, when I actually met you, Chrissy, I actually did not know who the heck you were. I had no.
I
I
remember. I remember we were talking in the store.
Yeah, we were talking in the store, and I was helping you like pick outfits or
Hmm.
something. I
Yeah.
had zero idea of who you were, and then like somebody I can't remember who, and I'm not gonna try to list names. I'm gonna try my best not to list names from
Yeah.
work people.
Yeah.
But someone actually came up to me. They're like, "Oh, do you know who that is?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I have no." I was like, "She's really cool. Like,
I
she's
Yeah.
look.
great.
I
Like,
feel like that was
I
me.
did my job. Like, I think I just restarted again. I'm like, I did my job. I connected. She bought
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. Like,
Yeah. You're
I
like,
did so good here." Like,
guys, it's okay. She's gone. We're good. Got it for the day. No. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, I thought I did good. And then they're like, "Oh no, that's like one of like our future like ambassadors." I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." Like, if I
Uh,
known, I would have like introduced myself and like whatever. But it was vibes. Like, I think it was
but
just very like,
connect, and it
yeah,
was
we connected like instantly. And
yeah.
same thing with Nico. Me and Nico connected like
Yeah.
this. Like, it was so fast. Like,
You can't.
and
Thing is, you can't force like a connection. It's got to happen organically.
Hmm.
If you vibe, great. You don't, no problem. Like there's like
move on.
move
Like
on.
shit.
Who
Like,
cares?
Chrissy and I met when she was on the Argos. I was working with the Argos as well. I
Yeah.
was a
Oh,
sideline photographer and video production assistant.
Yep.
I was the
wow.
nerd with the camera, and like I honestly I don't even remember how how,
It
but I
must.
just remember. Yeah, I don't know.
Like the
Wow.
same year. I'm pretty foggy on it too. You have to understand these are like early 20s, and
This was time ago. Yeah.
this was like peak like not yeah, lost and found days, like
Mm,
club days, like where we hitting, like where we going in Toronto, like every
yeah,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday cabanas if it's summertime. Like this was like peak party days.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
must have been like something like that along those lines.
Probably one of. I mean, definitely one of the games. I was always up and down on the sidelines, but
Yeah.
speaking of the Argos, you know what's wild? You brought up the ring. I never got a ring. I
Wow.
didn't get a ring,
I thought
and I'm
the
cheesed about that.
entire like production team got one.
I I I don't know. I didn't. That sucked. I know.
At
I
the
was cheesed,
Argos, give my
but
man a
like
ceremony.
yeah,
Justice.
fact.
That's
What's it called?
that's
Yeah,
horrible.
Give my
I
man a
think
ceremony.
because I was like interning, but I was a paid intern.
You should
I
have
don't
gotten a
know.
ring.
Because I remember specifically like asking my boss. I was like, "Yo, two things. Like one, I really want to keep doing this. Like, so I guess I don't know where to go. Like, how do we can like talk about like potential working after?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Well, if we win the Grey Cup, there's like a much better chance. You know, much better chance." And I was like, "Okay, sick." And then I was like, "You'll have, what about a ring?" And he's like, we'll see, we'll see." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, sick, like dope. Won the Grey Cup, sick. Like that was awesome. I remember like I smoked a blunt with, with one of the running backs. I'm not gonna say not gonna say a name, but that was sick.
Probably too.
Um,
We probably did too.
yeah, 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 probably at the after party in Ottawa. I forget what hotel it was at, but
So
that yeah.
sick.
Anyway, that was a time.
I need to work with the sports. If I'm not playing for the team, I'm gonna work with the sports team.
Yeah, bro. It was definitely fun. That was my last year living downtown too. So like, what it was an insane way to cap it all off, and that'll forever be one of my favorite sports moments of across everything. Like, uh, I got like tickets to go to the game. I didn't have to work, which was sick.
Yeah.
Um, but I got to go, and I was on the side. I was literally on the sidelines with the players and
Yeah.
the other staff, and like I'll never forget. There was a fumble, like a fumble recovery run for a touchdown in the snow. It was a snow game,
No.
like
Yeah.
snow past your ankles, like to win the game, and like just stormed the field. It was crazy. It was so much fun.
And
That's insane.
but I
That's
agree
Little
with
really
tangent,
cool.
but
definitely a defining moment in probably both of our careers realistically, and just
Yeah.
our lives. Just to say that we were a part of that and such like it's just such a cool like thing to, I don't know, just be a
Yeah,
part of,
Yeah.
cool,
you know.
fun way, man. Like
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's insane. That's
But
really
that's,
cool, actually.
yeah, we met back then as well.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Like we go way back.
wow. What a that's crazy. Oh, so
And
when you
then
said
we,
way back, Nico, you meant like way
yeah.
back. I thought
Oh
it was
yeah.
just like from. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
My mind's blown.
we reconnected that day when I came to do that class. And like
Yes.
I remember walking in and being like, yo,
You, what are you doing here?
what? Like, and then at the end of the class, or is I no, was it the beginning? I think it was the end. At the end of the class, you're like, Nico? And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
Chrissy? And I
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
But yeah, it was just full circle moments. They
Mhm.
happen all the friggin' time, guys. And like that's why you just like not burn bridges, but like I always say, like just be a good person. Like, because you'll never know when you'll see someone again and cross paths, and
Exactly.
it's gonna happen more often than not. So like, wouldn't you want to just have a good reputation, or at least try for that, aim for that? Like, I'm not to get deep, but I always kind of make a
Please
joke.
do, honestly, because this is it's great. Like your insight on this is great. So like, please do by all means.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I go kind of really off the grid for a second and then I'll come
I do
back.
too. I do too. I do too. It's okay.
It,
Like
but I'll always say to my mom, like, and I'll joke when I say this, but there is some real truth behind it. Like, I'm so happy that I can own a business with my mom in the area that I grew up in.
Yeah.
hmm
Like, and touch wood, because I'm always still so freaked out that another pandemic's gonna hit. Like, I have PTSD. Like, touch wood, we continue like being more popular, growing, and like getting our name out there, because I just feel like you can't do that if you're not a good person and you don't have the work ethic and like the connections and the friendships and all of it. Like, you can't do that if you're just a shitty person. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to be able to do what I love in my hometown. And
I
then
agree.
and then on top of all of that, be featured on such a major company wall in my hometown.
It actually looks great, by the way. Like it looks,
Thank
it's
Yeah.
fire. It's a really
It pops
fire
like with
poster. Yeah,
the podcast, the white background, and then the dark kind of set that I'm in, and that's
yeah.
why I
It's
figured dark, because I knew, I was like, well, okay,
She knew. She knew.
no, I didn't know. Hold on, I didn't know. At this point, I did know that they wanted to do the photos, and I had signed already, and I signed when I was blonde with Lululemon, and I knew that when the photos would happen, I'm like, okay, this photo is going to be up on the wall, and if I keep my blonde hair, I don't, I won't, because it's going to be up for 2 years. I won't like connect with that person. I won't like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Resonate?
Resonate with that person. I won't recognize that person, for fuck's sake. She's blonde. I'm
Yeah.
brunette. I wanted to dye my hair. So I was
Mm.
like, all right, this is a new start, new everything, new year, new like fresh team, like new classes, all everything was just new. And we're going hard. So I was like, paint it black. Let's go. Like, dye my hair black. And I did it first for the pictures, and then obviously it grew out. But yeah, you know,
amazing,
so
Yeah.
amazing.
that, but
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I love everything you said. It truly like having the business with your mom in your hometown. It sounds like it sounds like a movie. Like it
Yeah.
really does. It's so and going back to just good people, that kind of thing only happens to good people. Like genuinely. Like there are very few in this world that really get like something that just works
Mm,
after the work that they put into it, and they're at a point where it's just like, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the vibe I get off of you is just like I'm so content with everything right now. Like everything's working the way it should be,
mm,
like
It's
I'm just
flowing.
letting everything kind of go,
mm.
like go the way it should.
And like, don't,
Um
there's been obviously a lot of trials, a lot of turbulence, a lot of
sure.
thinking on our feet, but I think for the most part, like, there's like a saying, and it's like, no one really cares about a come up story if everything worked out for them. Like, no one cares if it was just kind of like handed to them and they
100%.
just whatever, everything worked.
100%.
No one cares about that story. People are interested in what was it like? What are the real what did it take to get here? Because
See,
clearly it shouldn't have been easy. And I'm
this is why I bring you on this stuff. This is exactly why I bring you, because like it's so insane. My reels right now look very, and my reels aren't like just this stupid like TikTok that it's like travel, baseball, gym, and like daunting motivational stuff. Like,
like
and the one that comes up the most is like, oh, you're so lucky. Yeah, but you didn't see this. Or the you're so lucky, but you didn't do this. Or like, you know what I mean?
hmm
Like you've been there, I know you've been there. Like both of you have been there. We've all been there. And it's just really amazing, and just it's amazing how everything just flows. Like truly, like it's a lot of work, and for the people that don't know this out there, it's so much work, it's so much, and it's more than just the MVP, announcements of just, it's late nights, early mornings, blood, sweat, tears. I don't know, it's so much more.
hmm
It will
I,
take everything out of you, it will push you to your brink, your absolute brink,
hmm
and then you're finally gonna see it. And
hmm
until you don't get pushed to that level, you haven't achieved what you truly
hmm
need to achieve.
exactly.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay, well that was deep.
Type
All
type shit.
right. We're
I love
fine.
like I feel that so deeply. Like I always talk with my instructors on this. Like, if you have passion for something, that'll show through. And then working, like that saying, I feel like I'm doing a lot of requotes here, quoting a lot of things,
Go
but
nuts. I
that, like,
like it.
when you love what you do, it feels like you're never working a day in your life or whatever. Like, I believe that so, like, in my bones. And I feel like my entire team does as well. And that's why we're one of the top studios. I'm not going to say the top because I don't know. I don't
The
know who's
top.
ranking us, but
The
I think
top.
we made a really big name for ourselves as a team
Hmm.
because we all like it's not competitive. It's not like, well, I want those hours and people are getting in here and kind of looking at each other up and down. Like, it's a unit. We're all happy for each other. We all love what we do. It's a creative outlet. For first and foremost, it's not that serious. It's never that serious. This is a lot of a lot of my girls, a lot of my teams, like second job, like a hobby, just like they have their like real job, and then they'll come out afterwards and then teach classes in the evenings or in the mornings or whatever. And some it's their full time gig. So at the end of the day, you have people kind of circulating in and out that are just coming for the community, just to teach for themselves, for, like I said, to have that creative outlet, to play whatever music they want to play, theme out a class, connect with their clients. A lot of their clients, like whenever I first have an instructor starting, I'll always tell my instructor, part of the job is connecting with your class. You're not a robot. You don't clock in, clock out. A lot of the time you're getting there earlier and you're staying later because you're talking to somebody and they're confiding in you about their life at home, and you turn into their therapist, their nutritionist, their personal trainer. You are like everything to these people, and just
Yeah.
like they are to you. Like, it goes both ways. So I just think that passion is like what makes us so different. You know what I mean? And that's what
Hmm.
the rest is just like, it just doesn't exist. There's just no room for the negativity and the competition and the bad energy. Like, I'm pretty good on intuition and picking up vibes. I feel like that's like I'm a witch in some sort of way. And I feel like I'm very like I can sense who's there for the right reasons, who wants in on our team and who just wants to be maybe brought to the top or given the platform, put bike and bar in their bio, whatever the fuck. Like,
Hmm.
and that's me being real. Like, that's me being so candid and real on what I look for. And obviously it goes into their talent, you know, and their education, make sure everyone's certified, but it goes beyond that. Like, it's a whole big package. And I just want everyone to be aligned with like Bike and Barre and like what I'm looking for. So,
Yeah, and talent, like
Yeah.
everyone says, it talent only gets you so far. Like it
mhm,
really will. Like there's so much. Like again, being a good person, the passion. You know, it all goes hand in hand. If you have one and not the other, you're just as good as someone else with no talent.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like
Need to drive.
right. And I think one thing about us is that our passion shows so well, so differently within like the three of us.
mhm,
Right? Like Nico, yours shows through like obviously one people skills, we all have that, but like
mhm,
one shows through your music, two like you know it's so many different ways. Like mine shows through you know just training and talking and communicating, creating, um you know baseball like in itself, like people just know me because of my personality, not because if I was a really super amazing top of the line baseball player I would be here, right? Like I would be in the MLB, you know what I
Wait,
mean? But
okay.
there's a reason as to why I'm not. But so many people that have been better than me, I'm still in the game. I'm
mhm,
still living that thing. It's not because like I'm the best. I'm not, right? Realistically, I strive to be, but I'm not, right? You have to be like like just a good human being to stay in the industry that you're in for a very long time,
mhm.
right? And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
But
I guess
I
first
guess
one in, last one out. You gotta have a Kobe. You know, the Tom
yeah,
Brady's of the world.
of
Yeah.
course, you have to have them, and I think just as we get to a wrap up, we're getting close to that little hour mark, right where I
Okay.
want it to be. Chrissy, what is next for you? I ask everybody this. What is next? Whether it's the studio, yourself, where you want to be, what you want to achieve. Talk to us. Like give us something of where you want to be. And there's no doubt we're gonna have you on another one. There's no ands
I,
of like
and I hope that like, you know, I'm just happy if one person listens. Like, I mean, you guys have, I'm sure, a bunch of followers and listeners, but
it's growing.
for me, I'm like, I'm just happy if like my mom listens and is like, get it, get it,
Yeah,
girl.
no, 100%.
Um, but I guess what's next for me is I'm gonna keep grinding it out with my mom. Get more classes up on the schedule, be there a little bit more. Um, maybe work on some new stuff. I'll say
Men's
that
line, a men's line, bike and bar men's line,
there is
something.
Wouldn't be
something
opposed. Wouldn't be opposed.
I just
Wouldn't be
I'm
opposed.
listen, we got to go worldwide, I think. We got to we got to franchise and go everywhere, literally.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
But one that's such a crazy goal, but that would be really cool. I think yeah, I think just you know, continuing my education, my you know, I want to get Cadillac certified. Um maybe offer privates, like stuff like that, just you know, to kind of keep me leveling up with myself,
Mhm.
Hmm.
because my biggest fear is just kind of like staying right down here.
Complacent.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I like, if you don't set goals for yourself, I feel like that will happen. And I'm also just like kind of neurotic like that. So I'm always like, okay, what's the next? What do we do next? How can I keep leveling up and doing better, being better, even my personal life, right? Like making time for my husband. And he just got home right now. Hi, honey.
Celebrity appearance.
Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
Bring him on, bring him
Just
on.
bring him on.
We want him. We want him.
You
Bring
guys
it
are
in.
sure.
What's going on,
He
What's
just
going
guys?
got,
Oh,
on?
dude.
but yeah, I just think overall, you know, doing better, being more positive, um, more hands on everywhere, anywhere I can.
Beautiful. And then I'm gonna leave you with this. I know this is pretty on the spot, but if you have a question for me and a question for Nico to sign us out, what would that question be?
Oh my gosh. Well, what's next for both of you? Like, aside from the career stuff, like personal life, like what's
Wait, you
next?
take it away, big fella.
Well, I'll just be quick. The what's next for me is I was hurt in January. I strained my back, but I'm finally like getting back into the groove. Biggest thing for me this year is I've been doing 10Ks the last 3 years. I want to beat my, I guess, my record, my high score, my time, and that's like besides music, that's the biggest thing that I'm focusing on. So just getting out there, running more. Being on my ass about diet and all that stuff, but just trying to be a healthier version
Wait,
of
so
myself.
no more Baja
Oh
Blast?
no! I'm still drinking Baja Blast. That's
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
that's my pre my post. Baja Blast literally like elevates me. It brings me to the next dimension. There's
Oh,
no better drink in the entire universe. Baja Blast, please sponsor your boy.
sponsor. Yeah, now, guys, if you're listening,
Bring a zero sugar one for your other boy, but
Yeah.
like, but no, I
Sorry,
guess
I need to.
I'll hop in next. I think there's obviously, like, we already know, like, just based off my stories and stuff, just grinding away. That's kind of an inevitable. That's, I guess, that's a career thing for me, so I'll try to shy away from that. But I think that a lot of stuff that I'm doing, a lot of work that I'm doing, like mentally, spiritually, just for within myself, I think
Mhm,
is one being more, just being more present. Like, just really continuing to expand on what I've known already and allow whatever aligns with me
mhm.
to just naturally align. I think there's been times where I've forced things and I've seen how bad they turn out.
Mhm,
um I think there's a lot of gut intuitions that I've had that I just haven't trusted, and learning to trust that intuition and know that I'm right.
mhm.
Like, my true inner thoughts are right. Like, not my way or the highway, I'm still willing to learn, but like my true gut feeling is usually right.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me. And again, creating content, just really trying to create more content. Really just try to, like, grow as a trainer, really try to educate. I'm actually just doing getting a course done this weekend to be a certified flexologist.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, just again, continue to educate myself, continuing to provide more, really trying to get, really trying to, uptake my personal training side of it, because I always say, like, baseball is not going to be something, as much as I want it to, it's not going to last forever. I've been playing since I was 3, played first year competitively at 5, and I was playing with 7 and 8 year olds. So
Wow.
it's been my whole life's work essentially up to this year. This is going into my, I guess, 20th year of playing baseball.
Damn.
Um,
That's
and
so.
That's
yeah, this is going to be my 20th year of playing baseball, and it never gets old, like, not at all. But I do realize that I'm still going to keep going with it. There's no ends or buts about that, but there is a time for an end, and you know, being able to invest in the other avenues that I want in my life have to start now. So that's, I guess,
Yeah,
my big what's next.
I love that.
But
Period.
yeah. But
period.
yeah, that's about
I'd
it,
say
guys. So first of all, Chrissy, thank you for joining us. We love
yes.
you.
Thank you so much,
We
Chrissy.
are so glad that you were able to hop on. We're definitely gonna have you again soon, no
I will
doubt, because we
really.
know you have some. We know you're holding some tea.
I am. I think in
We,
a few months we need to hop back on and.
it's not even for like a deep pod. We just need like a tea talk with Chrissy.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
you
This is
know.
Talking to Chrissy.
the intro, guys. This was
That's
full.
that's a headline right there.
That's
I
like a
like that.
segment that we can have our own
That's
segment,
the
man.
yeah.
Tea
Yeah,
talk with
just pop
Chrissy.
Chrissy in for like 5 minutes on each pod. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
hey,
Call me in
what tea you got for us today?
and I'll give my opinion.
Just a quick,
But yeah,
quick caller in.
Love it.
yeah, right.
Love it.
But
Thank you
again, thank you so much.
for having me.
What
And yeah, I hope everything I said was all right. And that's
It
it.
was amazing. It
I
was
was
so great.
golden.
It was actually great. Don't forget, always, if you guys are in the area, please check out the studio, Bike and Barre Studio. Fireplace, amazing lighting. First of all, the natural lighting that place gets in the daytime is
Um,
immaculate.
you're in the cloud.
Um, but and just even better people there. Wavy, you know who he is. Don't forget his music. Come on now.
Yeah, let's
Mixtape coming with
go.
Jarrell soon, from what I'm
Sure.
hearing.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
can't wait
sir.
for that. Your
Summertime,
boy,
baby.
your boy's going out to Puerto Rico. Y'all might see me podcasting on a little beach somewhere.
Oh my
with a
God.
little palm tree on the back. Imagine that for a vibe, eh,
I'm
Nico?
so
Could be
jealous.
vibe.
We got a pod, me just chilling on a beach chair, big palm tree up here somewhere.
As
Tea
it's
time with Chris. With Chrissy while we're
100%.
there.
Yeah, man. But anyways, guys, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to show us a whole bunch of love on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all of that. I'll put all of our Instagrams down there. Please hit us with a follow. And yeah, guys, can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Peace.